Welcome back to another episode of Playing Voodoo. I'm your host Derek, and today I'll be recapping Australian Survivor Heroes vs. Villains episode 15. Yes, all aboard! The SS Vigilante is leaving the dock. You better jump on before it's too late. Like Sean, come on, just jump on. You gotta jump on this vote. Vote for David. He didn't do it, and we saw several others did not do it. Yes, Sean, Flick, Sam, Nina, and David were left behind. And now the SS Vigilante is carrying 7 passengers, those being George, Liz, Shawnee, Jerry, Matt, Haley, and Simon. Yes. Wow. So, we've seen the 7 stick together for the first merge vote, and that's what happened again this episode. They stuck as a 7, and they took out Flick. Yes, Flick, the one who backstabbed both Shawnee and Liz. Although you could question whether or not her backstabbing was successful because they didn't go home and she was the one being sent home. We saw previously, I believe it was the episode right before the merge, which was episode 13, in which Stevie went home. Flick and Liz and Shawnee went to bat for Flick. Yes, they put their necks out on the line, even threatening to play an idol to save her, again, threatening George in that sense during Tribal. And they saved her. They did enough. Stevie went home that episode, and you know what happens? Flick goes back to the OG heroes and immediately throws out Shawnee and Liz's name to go. Yes, she even writes down Shawnee's name for that tribal council. Honestly, it is what it is. She didn't have the numbers. That's what it comes down to in Survivor. You either have the numbers or you don't. She did not. And she was the one to go. Now, I did have her in my power rankings at number 10 out of 11 last episode. So, does not come as a surprise to me that she was the one to go this episode. So, last episode, I gave an episode recap of what went down. You've watched the episode. I don't want to go through all of it again, but I will bring up key points of what happened this episode while giving my power rankings. Yes, my power rankings are returning. I will be doing this every single episode. I will be ranking the remaining contestants about who I think will win, who is pretty much a shoo-in at this point, although I don't think there is, and who has no chance at the bottom. And there might be a few that have no chance as it currently stands. So, let's get straight to it. At number 10, I'm going to put Sam. So last week, Sam was 11 for me at the bottom. He remains at the bottom here. I just don't see a way forward for him. Again, we see him and George this episode bicker to a sense in which they're exchanging chat saying, yeah, it's just not good. Like, they're saying it's not time to throw barbs. George is, and then Sam saying it's not a barb. Yeah, you don't want to be on George's bad side from what we've seen. He's controlling this game. He's playing almost a perfect game. One of the best Survivor players ever. Not even just Australian Survivor players ever. So Sam, you hate to see it, but this is pretty much where you're at in this game. We do see later on in the episode, he is talking with Liz, just kind of getting the fill out for her. We know that they do have a previous relationship, as they both were going to be part of a Haley blindside that did not come to fruition. So maybe there's somewhere in there where he can slip in, but I just don't see it, to be honest. I think he's going to be someone that's cut off like we just saw with Flick and David. So Sam is my number 10 for this power ranking. At number 9, previously I had Simon. I think it's going to be Simon staying at number 9. So Simon stayed with a 7. Yes, I am Kind of surprised that he stayed with the 7, but we do see this in Australian Survivor for the most part, that once, typically it's along tribal lines, once you're kind of just with someone, you're with them till the end. It's like the old school Survivor mentality a bit. And Simon, he's sticking with it for now. He's sticking with the rest of them for now. Although he is definitely wary and cautious of potentially moving forward with the Spice Girls. Yes, the 4 Spice Girls. And even chatted with Haley to pick her head about how she feels and can she trust them. And she made him feel easy about it. So went with it. So yeah, that's my read on Simon. So we'll see. I do anticipate he will make a move against George. We've seen it earlier this season. Did not go well at all. And I anticipate it happening the same way again. Also, I mean, I think he's at the bottom of the 7. I think he knows that too. And yeah, once those numbers dwindle down on the other side a little more, there's only 3 people on the outside now, so they're gonna start chopping from within that 7 here pretty soon. I think before it gets down to 0 on the other side. So we'll see. We will see. But it's good to see Simon has found a home. Finally, someone including him in the vote. It's cool to see. At number 8, I'm sticking with what I had previously. At number 8 last week, I had Sean. Or last episode, rather. Sean still has his hit immunity idol. He did not play it this week. Potentially, we got word from a confessional that he would either play for Flicker himself. He's the only one that knows about his hit immunity idol, so it will become pivotal. Honestly, if he knows the votes are coming towards him, he might be able to make a move and shock some people. So we'll see. But the numbers are dwindling, so the room for that is the margin's getting quite small. Because if there's 7 on one side and you have 3, they're just going to, if the 7 does in fact stay strong, if they split their votes, his idol play, it might save him, but it might be at the cost of one of his current allies, that being Nina and Sam. So we'll see. And we even saw him chat with Haley again this episode. Try to just say, hey, if you hear my name, try to steer it away, or just also gather information about what was going to go down. Haley didn't budge at all. Neither did Simon. They did not say a word about what was happening for this vote, but I anticipate that might happen in the future. I mean, I didn't mention this, but Simon, huge fan of Sean the first time he played. I don't see Simon just like throwing that to the wayside. There's going to be something there with him and Sean. So Sean's got some wiggle room. We'll see what he can do. But for now, I have to put him at number 8. At number 7. So last episode, I put Haley at number 7. Now I'm going to stick to it. Honestly, I don't have any reason to change my power rankings too much from this episode to last. Not much happened, to be honest, to make that drastic of a change from episode to episode. So Haley, she's sticking with a 7. Yeah, she's pretty much gonna stick with it for now. I do wonder what she's gonna do moving forward, because that 4 is pretty tight, to be honest. There's only 10 people left, and if you throw Matt in there to make it a tight 5, then you got to make a move next episode, pretty much. If you're Haley and them, you got to pull in Simon and pull in the other 3, and tell them where to play the idol, or maybe if the votes are splitting, it won't matter. But yeah, moves probably got to be made sooner than later against George and Shawnee, and I don't want to leave everyone out. Liz and Jerry and Matt. Move has to be made against them, because the later you wait, there won't be a window. So for that reason, Haley's got to be staying at number 7. And she's also the only winner on this cast, and she's obviously still the only winner remaining. So I just don't see a path in which others would entertain her moving forward in this game. At number 6, I'm going to stick with what I had previously again. It's to no surprise, George. Now, George being here at 6 is no knock on how he's played so far. He's played tremendously. Rather, this power ranking is more of a projection moving forward. And honestly, George has played quite the game. I'm just giving myself that benefit of the doubt that like Liz, Jerry, and Matt will see an opportunity come like final, around 6 people left, 6 or 7 people left to take out George. Because if you don't, who knows what could happen? You let him get further in the game. We've seen what he can do vote to vote. He even got his adversary and Simon to vote with him. He even got Haley to vote with him. He got Matt, who looked like a solidified hero, to vote with him. What can George not do at this point? Be honest. Love to see it. Great television. And I'm hoping he wins because what a game. What a game he's played so far. At number 5. So I'm going to change my ranking. No, I won't. At number 5, I'll keep it with Shawnee. So similarly, another big threat. Yes, Shawnee. This episode, they pretty much aired out that they felt like they were done bad by Flick. We saw that quite often happen this episode, whether it was early on or even at Tribal Council. And she's right. She has every right to be upset and kind of even angry about what went down. But she's still in a great spot, and I don't foresee her being targeted, honestly, before the likes of George, Haley, and Sean. So she has some room to move forward, and obviously we've seen that bond with her and Liz. That's going to continue. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. Shawnee, number 5. At number 4, I'm going to put Jerry. So I had Jerry at 4 last week. I don't think my rank is going to change from here on out. The only one that changed, actually, it didn't change at all this week. Or this episode. So my rankings seem to be pretty much the same from this episode to last episode. So I have Jerry at 4. I have Liz at 3. I'm going to flip that, 2 and 3. I'm going to put Matt at 3. I am a little worried that he did receive votes this episode. I think it's smart on that minority alliance to throw votes Matt's way because maybe he'll get a little spooked from receiving votes and it might change how he's going to play moving forward. I know that George and Shawnee would not have been spooked because they receive votes all the time. So it is what it is. But I think that was very interesting to see. We'll see what they do with that moving forward. Liz, she won individual immunity. Her and Matt both have won the 2 individual immunities since the merge. And yeah, she's strong. She's a competitor. You can't doubt it. Like, she's up there and can win pretty much all of the individual challenges. Hey, she might go on a run and win several to pair with her social and strategic game to catapult her to the end. You know what? Actually, no. I'm going to throw Liz to number 1. Yes, I had her at 3 last episode. I'm going to put her at 1. And I'm going to move Nina down to... I'll move Nina down to 3. Matt will stay at 2 then. So I flipped from last episode to this episode. I guess Nina and Liz are being flipped. I'm going to put Liz at number 1. I just gave my reasoning. Nina, I mentioned last episode, she's in a precarious spot, but I think it's a unique spot in which she has an opportunity to work her way from the bottom, kind of go unnoticed like the new players because there's so many big threats remaining amongst the returning players that I just think she's going to slide right through. And we even saw this episode, her and George chatting, saying that she's not pretty much on the hit list moving forward that others are. So we'll see about that. She's done nothing wrong per George's words. And she's even named her new, well, now it was 4, now it's 3, the pity party of that alliance. Now it's just her, Sean, and Sam. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I think there's still a lot of fluidity to happen moving forward. Everyone that's not part of the Spice Girls they better, for their sake, make a move sooner rather than later. Otherwise, we're going to see George crowned winner of Australian Survivor Heroes vs. Villains. That wraps up what I want to talk about for this episode. Not much happened between this episode and last episode that really changed the dynamics within the new tribe, the Fa'a Mole Mole, or as we see now, the 7, the Vigilantes. So, with that being said, I just want to say we are going to be covering U.S. Survivor Season 44. It airs tomorrow. It's going to be super exciting. We'll be potting on it later in the week, so stay tuned for our Episode 1 recap about that. And if you've not already, we do have our Season 44 for U.S. Survivor draft out there on YouTube and Spotify, so be sure to check that out. Let us know who you think is going to win the U.S. Survivor Season 44. Make sure to also follow us on Twitter at PlayingVoodooPod. We really appreciate your support. This is Playing Voodoo, where split vote is not safe.